Hi everyone, Spider-Man 1991 here. I know it's been a while. This is a late review, and I didn't have a review last week. The truth is, at my job, I got a new work schedule, and unfortunately, I pretty much work from like Wednesdays to Sundays most of the day, and it's just been and I've pretty much been getting my comics like really late on Wednesdays, and I've been trying to adjust to the new schedule, and so I apologize that I didn't post a review last week, and also again that the review for the comics that came out June 12th, 2013 are late as well. Usually I try to shoot for a Thursday release date between Thursday and Saturday, but unfortunately that wasn't the case, and I apologize for that. But I think I've worked out the system. The schedule. I've worked out when I can read all the comics and when I'm going to be able to film them. So hopefully the reviews will kind of be back on track again. Okay? Alright. So these comics came out June 12th, 2013. Let's start off with Marvel. First off, Guardians of the Galaxy number 3. The reason I got this is because, well, I bought the .1 issue on digitally, which is only on my iPad. Then I bought the first issue. I think the week that Damian Wayne died, and I bought issue 2 the weekend of Free Comic Book Day, and I just kind of went with it because I thought, okay, Guardians of the Galaxy is back. The movie's coming out. I'll give the new series a try. I'll give the first story arc a try with individual issues. Pretty much I just got the issues that would be in the first trade paperback or hardcover edition this fall, so I decided to give the first story arc a shot. And pretty much what happens in issue 3 is, well, pretty much the Guardians, their ship is being raided by Spartan soldiers, and also the Guardians themselves are incarcerated. But fortunately, they're saved by none other than Groot. Groot actually grows to his full size. He's able to take care of all the soldiers and then free everyone. So with everyone free, unfortunately, they take some weapons, and Iron Man's armor still doesn't work. So he's kind of forced to use a gun for now. And they they take over the Spartan ship, which is much bigger than theirs. And Star-Lord then has Rocket Raccoon broadcast a message to every single ship in the Spartan fleet, and Star-Lord just basically says like his father, their king, arrested him just for protecting the people of Earth, and he starts to put doubts in their heads that this is a guy who would just arrest his own son to protect people, a species that can't defend itself yet from the regions of space. And that's where the Star-Lord's message, and also Star-Lord says, think about that the next time you take his orders. And that's where the issue ends, as well as the first story arc. I have to admit, this is very interesting. This is the first story arc with Brian Michael Bendis' Guardians of the Galaxy. I think he does a good job setting up what he hopes to do. So right now we've got, also going on the story arc, we had several leaders of intergalactic alliances meeting together, just trying to discuss Earth. Pretty much Earth has a lot of superhumans on it. It's been involved with a lot of past events, so they're kind of deciding what to do with it. And for now, they declared it off limits, but then stuff happens, and the Guardians went to Earth, and then they got in trouble for it. So obviously, that's something that Bendis is going to do in the future with this title. Overall, though, I don't think I'm going to be getting the rest of the issues individually. I think I'm just going to trade weight this series, see what happens next, because to be honest, I think I like the whole story arc better when I could read it all at once instead of just waiting each month for each issue with these. Because some series you do want to trade weight, because sometimes the pacing could be slow, but in this case, and this is kind of the case I think with Guardians of the Galaxy right now. If you are curious about this series and you didn't get the chance to read this, a new story arc is going to start with issue 4, and the trade for the first with the first 4 issues, that's 1 through 3, 1 issues 0.123. Okay, and it will be out sometime in the fall. So Guardians of the Galaxy, it's pretty interesting, and I think I might check out the next trade if I get the chance. Alright, next up from Marvel, Thor, God of Thunder number 9. Pretty much all three Thors fight Gore in this issue. Throughout the fight, though, you can see, during the narration, you can see them distinguish the differences between each of the Thors, about how young Thor is pretty much brash and arrogant. Present-day Thor, he's the superhero, he's the Avenger, he does what's right. And then we have future Thor, who's pretty much very similar to Odin. And, you know, even after all three Thors fight Gore, pretty much push him into the sun, and also old Thor is able to use the Odin Force, which technically is now called the Thor Force. They still lose. Pretty much, they get knocked out by Gore, and all three hammers fall to the ground, and then Gore tells his subjects to prepare the God Bomb. Okay, so we're getting towards the end of God Bomb here. Very interesting. I would say just get this issue if you like action, okay? There's pretty much a ton of action in this issue. It's just one giant fight between the three Thors and Gore. So, you know, if books that just feature a giant fight aren't really your thing, then you can pass on this issue. But if you're reading this and you want to get all the parts, then if you've been reading Thor, God of Thunder since the beginning, I would definitely recommend picking up this issue as well as reading this story arc. Okay, now that that's done, time for DC Comics. Starting off with Smallville, Season 11, number 14. Okay, Kara pretty much explains, after Clark's gotten Kara out of EarthGov prison, she explains to him that when she arrived with the Legion to the future 6 months ago, she joined the Legion, and then when New Krypton came, she went with the Legion squad on a diplomatic mission, but unfortunately, apparently the mission was sabotaged by someone on EarthGov. And after that, Kara's been working as a spy for New Krypton. Then Cosmic Boy and Saturn Girl stop an EarthGov soldiers from setting a bomb off New Krypton, and Clark arrives on the planet, and he learns that apparently now, instead of worshipping Rayo, the New Kryptonians actually worship the Feora clone from season 9, who was carrying General Zod's child, and they pretty much. And then Clark Clark learns that apparently the Kryptonians want to get to Earth because they want to find Feora's body, because they believe that her unborn child, which was conceived by 2 Yellow Sun-powered Kryptonians, could be the key to knowing their limits to their DNA. And Clark and Kara go to find Feora's tomb. They find the body, but when they do, they also notice there's some equipment left behind from some DNA extraction equipment. So Clark and Kara conclude that EarthGov wanted a sample of Feora's child's DNA. Question is why? Well, that's revealed on the last page when we see that they're pretty much creating their own version of Doomsday. And I base this it's not the actual like bony gray Doomsday. It's really more like if you remember how Doomsday appeared leading up to the death of Superman, he was wearing this sort of green hazmat suit with these big red goggles. That's pretty much what you get on the last page. You see that it's implied that they are creating their own version of Doomsday, something that they can control to use in their war against the New Kryptonians. Okay, well, Smallville Season 11, number 14. I'm actually liking it. Unfortunately, though, this story arc is focused a little more on New Krypton and Kara rather than the Legion. I feel like the Legion's role in this is really diminished, and that was something I really looked forward to in this story arc, was seeing how different the Legion would be with Supergirl, but that's not the case. The focus is on New Krypton and Kara, so I would say get this story arc if you were a fan of Kara on Smallville. If not, then You can skip it if you're a Legion fan and you were hoping that they would have a more substantial role in this. Well, they really don't. The Legion feels like background players in this story, unfortunately. I wish they did have a bigger role in this, but not really the case. Okay, now pretty much back to the New 52 reality. Superboy number 21. Pretty much Crypto arrives to help Superboy and Dr. Psycho. And Dr. Psycho manages to find another Hive victim, Sarah, who's apparently being hunted by this Hive agent known as Decay. But it turns out that Decay is actually just a mental projection of Sarah's mind that was a result of the treatment she received when she was under Hive's care. And pretty much Superboy is able to use his powers to knock out Sarah. Then Dr. Psycho creates a sort of telepathic dream sequence that can keep her calm and content, so that the decay aspect of her personality won't come back and be used against them. Okay, wow, I dropped this thing and the bag broke. Sucks. Pretty much Superboy number 21. It's focused on the Hive. Really, I'd say, honestly, I thought with a new writer, Justin Jordan, on this book would be a little better, but unfortunately that's not the case with this issue. If you are a fan of the Hive, that's the only reason to pick this up. And if you want to see a Superboy Crypto team up, that's another reason, but other than those two, you can just skip this book and save yourself $3 this week. Alright, now for something that's definitely worth the cover price and more. Nightwing, number 21. Alright, first off, we learn that someone is killing off vigilantes in Chicago, as this new vigilante known as Slip Shift stops a bus of hostages. Then later that night, he's murdered in his apartment. But back in the present, we see Nightwing able to get out of the prankster's trap. Then, when the cops show, Nightwing makes a deal with Prankster that he'll get him out of this if Prankster agrees to help him find Tony Zuko. So the following morning, Prankster tells Nightwing, looks into Zuko's record and everything, and figures out that Zuko's last cellmate in a state penitentiary was the mayor of Chicago's brother, and that the email he traced that is Nightwing's only clue that Zuko is in Chicago came from a server in City Hall. And Prankster tells him about this aide to the mayor that appeared a few months ago named Billy Luster. And Nightwing decides to break into Luster's house while he's away, and looking around, Nightwing is able to see a photograph that confirms that Billy Luster is Zuko for him. And also right before he left, Nightwing actually handcuffed Prankster to a pipe on the roofs and let the cops know his location, but then we see on the last page that the Prankster escaped. Okay, Nightwing number 21. Really like this book. This book is really coming into its own. I mean, Nightwing really isn't another Bat book. Alright, that's originally, I mean, yeah, when it started off, Nightwing was still in Gotham City. He was still doing his own thing, but I think now moving him to Chicago is really letting Nightwing stand out on his own. I think that's what this story arc is trying to establish here, and I think it's great. I mean, without it, now I'm starting to think of Nightwing less as another Batman title, and more of just more of a Dick Grayson title, and something that's almost completely different from it. Nightwing's still an amazing series. I highly recommend this. I like the progress that's being shown here with the Tony Zuko story arc. Highly recommend it if you're a Dick Grayson fan. Really great stuff going on here. I mean, Nightwing is definitely one of the best DC comics out there. Alright, next up, another good DC comic that I have been waiting for. Batman number 21, The Beginning to Zero Year. This cover is different because I bought the digital version, mainly because I felt like this would be a good story arc that I could share with some people, so I decided to buy the the combo pack, so that way I could get the print comic and also have a digital comic that I could keep on my iPad and show to people if they were interested. Okay, pretty much first few pages we see Gotham City almost 6 years ago, and it's like completely abandoned, like a post-apocalyptic version with like weeds growing everywhere, and the subways are flooded. And we see Batman. He's kind of like, he has all this equipment on him that's pretty low tech, and he's also riding a dirt bike. But then we cut to 5 months from 5 months before the whole dead Gotham thing, and we see that Bruce Wayne, he's Bruce Wayne, who's not really Batman at this point. He is doing his whole mission on crime thing, but he's actually wearing like fake people masks, and he's just saved a truckload of hostages from the Red Hood gang. Then Bruce is training his townhouse near Crime Alley because, again, Bruce at this point, Bruce isn't moved back into Wayne Manor. He's living near Crime Alley just to constantly remind him why he needs to do this. And right when Bruce is about to go leave to investigate, he's visited by his uncle Philip, who's actually his mother Martha's brother. And Philip shows him the new Wayne Enterprises building, and he says that he's been helping run Wayne Enterprises for the past few years until Bruce could take over, which could be now, but Bruce refuses because basically right now Bruce is just completely focused on his mission. He even tells Alfred that it's better that Bruce Wayne remain legally dead. So pretty much Bruce Wayne, legally dead. He doesn't want any part of his family business. He just wants to focus on his mission. And we are briefly shown that Wayne Manor is completely abandoned. Then later that night we learn that Philip Kane is actually working with Edward Nygma, who's been hired as sort of a corporate advisor. And when Philip tells him that Bruce says no, Nygma says that Bruce is the only thing that stands his way and that he'll have to kill him. And pretty much we also get a flashback to when Bruce was younger, and he speaks with his dad who's working on a car, and his dad shows him a sort of 3D camera that can help map out an accident, that could sort of create 3D models of a structure. You can pretty much put it in something and it could create like a 3D model of a structure or a room. And so we see young Bruce like walk off into the field near Wayne Manor, and he gets ready to throw the camera down to scan the Batcave, or what will be the Batcave. And also we get backup story in this, which I guess at this point the backup features are going to explore Bruce's travels, pretty much the year he went abroad and studied to learn all his skills to fight crime in Gotham. And in this case we see how he learned how to drive and evade police in a car. Yeah, so Batman Year Zero, I think it's off to a great start with this. Okay, we get a little teaser about Batman 6 years ago. Apparently something happened that caused Gotham City to pretty much go post-zombie apocalypse there. And we do see that Bruce still hasn't taken on the identity of Batman yet. And apparently it's going to be happening in almost 5 months. He's going to become Batman, because it showed 6 years ago he's in the bat suit. Then 5 months ago he's not wearing it. So something is going to make him want to become a symbol rather than just wearing multiple fake masks just to stop a Red Hood gang. But yeah, overall I'd say Batman Year One. Zero Year. I keep thinking Year One, but really this is 0 year. It's off to a great start. I mean, this series, Batman, is a really great series right now. I mean, Scott Snyder is a brilliant writer. He knows what he's doing, and I'm pretty sure this story arc will be something fans are really going to want to read and enjoy. And speaking of Scott Snyder, he also wrote another new series that came out this week, and its artwork is by Jim Lee. And this series also features a character who has a movie coming out this week. I'm talking about Superman Unchained. Alright, pretty much the story behind Superman Unchained is that Superman, we open up, and when he goes to, and after stopping the satellites, he goes back to his apartment, asks Clark Kent, and he starts writing his article, writing about it, and when he's talking to, and as he's talking, writing his article, he's also talking to Lois Lane at the same time, and she kind of tells him that, and she points out that Superman apparently saved 8 satellites, but Clark's surprised about that because he remembers that he only saved 7. So he goes and inspects the crash site of the eighth and final satellite, and suddenly he's attacked by a military sub. And then the last few pages show General Sam Lane in some sort of secret military bunker, and he says that, pretty much thinking to himself, asks like, "Did Superman see you?" And he says, "Yes, sir, but I don't think he found anything good." And the last page shows us that apparently the U.S. military has some sort of alien working for them, and this alien is also someone that General Lane declares to be the real Superman, who's been working with the U.S. government for 75 years. Oh, wait, is that... Wait, did I write 7 or 2? Yeah, I'm sorry, my handwriting's bad. Yeah, I think that might be a 7. If I'm wrong, please correct me in the comments, but apparently this alien's been working for the U.S. government for X amount of years, so obviously General Lane likes him a lot more than Big Blue. But, yeah, okay, starting off right now, I think Superman Unchained is a great series. I mean, first of all, Jim Lee's doing the artwork. He's a fantastic artist. Also, the dialogue between... Also, Clark doesn't just talk to Lois in this issue, he's also talking to Jimmy, and as Superman, he goes to when he tries to figure out who attacked the satellites, his first instinct is Lex Luthor. And just the dialogue between Superman and his supporting characters is very well written, most of it's pretty natural. Also, Scott Snyder does a good job of creating sort of this area of mystery in the book, on the first issue, like, you know, who attacked the satellites, why did they do it, also who's this Superman, other Superman that's working for the government, you know, where did he come from, what's his deal. So yeah, I think first issue, it's very intriguing, gets you involved with it, good dialogue. I'm glad I picked this up. I love Scott Snyder's work on Batman. I think this guy's he's brilliant, a fantastic writer, and so now that he's writing a Superman title, I'm really enjoying this, and I would definitely recommend, if you haven't been liking any of the Superman titles since the New 52, please give Superman Unchained a try, because I guarantee it, if you've liked Scott Snyder's work, you'll love this. Okay? Alright, that's it. That's it for my comic review this week. Again, sorry it's late. I've been trying to adjust to a new work schedule, but hopefully I've got it all sorted out now, and the review for next week will be a little closer to my usual target time. Okay, so in conclusion, Superman Unchained, written by Scott Snyder, artwork by Jim Lee. Highly recommend this. This is probably, I'd say, tied for comic book of the week with Batman, but very nice series. Highly recommend this to people who haven't been satisfied with any of the Superman books since the New 52. Batman, number 21. 0 Year starts here. Scott Snyder has a very interesting opening statement with this. Can't wait to read the rest of it. Really intriguing. Want to know what makes Bruce finally take on the mantle of Batman. Nightwing, number 21. Nightwing really is starting to become on its own. It's starting to look less like another Batman Batman supporting title, and more of its own title, like standing out on its own. Really like the change of scenery to Chicago. Can't wait to see what happens when Nightwing finally confronts Zuko. Superboy, number 21. Unless you want to see Superboy and Krypto fight some guy from Hive, pass it. Smallville, season 11, number 14. If you expected this story arc to feature a lot more of the Legion. Sorry, it's disappointed. If you do like Kara, if you liked Kara or the whole Kryptonian or the Kandorians story arc from season 9, I would recommend picking this up. Thor, God of Thunder, number 9. Thor, pretty much Gore takes out all 3 versions of Thor, and he's going to detonate the God Bomb. This issue is just one giant fight sequence. If you like those types of issues, pick this up. Or if you've read Thor since the beginning and you want to get to the conclusion, then pick this up. This really isn't a good issue to start with, but if you like action sequences, this is for you. And Guardians of the Galaxy number 3. I think Bendis does a good job setting up what's going to happen with Guardians of the Galaxy, what the main issue will be. Highly recommend you pick this up when the trade comes out. You can try to find the individual issues, but maybe waiting for the trade will be easier if you want to check the series out. New story arc starts next month with issue 4, so stay tuned for that. Okay, that's it for my comic review this week. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. Spider-Man 1991 saying, see you later.